Hi, welcome to Mark and Amber's Portside Chat. I'm Amber.
And I'm Mark.
And today we have Oscar letter number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4.
So I remember Oscar coming to family events, and he would do magic tricks. He was quite the magician, which he learned at a young age, and we'll find this out later in one of the future letters. And he would, I don't know, they weren't anything that fantastic. They were kind of, looking back, kind of basic magic tricks, but he was quite good at it. You know, making a pigeon come out of his hat. Whatever, I don't remember too much of it. But he was quite a character. And of course my cousin found a picture of him. I don't have any photographs of him at all. I don't even remember any photographs. But my cousin Matt scared one up, and it's somewhere here, wherever Amber puts it.
The whole screen. Boop.
Yeah. So I guess we can proceed with our 4th installment. Our 4th letter, which was written to my son February 28th, 1988. Hey, where'd you go? Oh, you're over there. Hi. So we're off and running. As you recall, in the last letter, Oscar and his grandmother, I believe, and a mysterious stranger traveled to Grandma's house. Through the woods they went. Here we go. After we were at Grandma's house for a short time, the old man decided to wash up. So he took off his long black coat and vest and his large brimmed hat. This was followed by the biggest surprise I ever experienced in my life, when the old man pulled off his gray and black wig, leaving his bare shaven head exposed, which was so prepared when he entered the barracks weeks ago. I had an even greater shock when this strange fellow pulled off his shaggy beard, when I realized when this old-looking fellow was in reality none other than my own father disguised in this false get-up. After washing up, he again put on his beard, false wig, hat, and other outlandish clothes, and told Grandma that he had to go see Cousin Golchov, the owner of the drugstore and sugar sack factory, which was operated on the upper story of his large house in the market area. My father and his cousin shared another project and expected to obtain a large sum of money to help him in his flight out of the country.
Was this... No, this wasn't in Odessa. They traveled from Odessa, right?
Correct. They traveled to Gaycine, if you recall. My father was not gone more than half an hour, and when without warning a group of army gendarmes, Secret Service or Secret Police, walked into Grandma's house, again replied that she did not know his whereabouts. They searched the entire place, including the large closets, under the beds, and even inside the large baking oven, as well as above the oven and back in between the ceiling and the top of the oven in the crawl space. While they were busy searching, Grandma whispered to me quietly to run quickly to Cousin Golchov's place and to warn Dad that the police were searching for him. Grandma told me not to go through the market area, but to walk around back alleys at the edge of town so no one will see me. When I got to our cousin's house, I told Dad what was going on in our grandma's house. Dad picked up a lot of paper money and put it inside his coat pocket, lifted me up and hugged me and kissed me, and in no time flat he was gone, and I did not see him again for the next 5.5 years.
Wow.
When I joined him in America in 1909, after traveling through a number of European countries and on a Dutch ship, which I picked up in Rotterdam, Holland.
Wow, that must have been a trip.
Haha, I get it, a trip. I traveled all that distance by myself with the help of a travel agent whom my father contacted after he came to the USA. That happened to my father after he finally disappeared from Cousin Golchov's house is as follows. He contacted a group of smugglers whose specialty was to try and get army deserters to the nearest Austrian border, the next country. and paid them 3,000 rubles. I have no clue what that equates to in dollars, much less, you know, a century's worth of inflation.
Really, huh?
For the next 3 weeks or more, the smugglers used to lead my father's group, about 25 deserters, each night through fields, forests, and a word that I couldn't translate. It's pronounced Lihle, not pronounced, spelled, so I don't know what that is. And also used highways, walking hundreds of miles in the direction of the Austrian border. When it came towards dawn, the group would be led to a secret hideout farm somewhere along the way, and the men would wash up and were fed, and they were hidden under several haystacks where they all slept and rested. Towards evening, the men crept out of the huge haystacks, washed up, and were fed again. After that, they again resumed their long hikes through the dark night, covering many more miles until dawn. This process took place every night for about 3 or 4 weeks until they reached within a mile of the Austrian border. At this time, the men were given special instructions by the smugglers to walk straight for about a mile, where a narrow, shallow river separated the Austrian-Russian border, where they could cross into Austria and be free men. Before the smugglers left them to be on their own, they warned the deserters that the border area was well guarded by Russian soldier guards, so that they should walk very quietly and not to talk, otherwise they might be attacked. Sure enough, when this group of men approached the border, they were suddenly attacked and told to stop, and shots rang out in all directions. My father and others began to run towards the border, and only 4 of them managed to cross the river, with 2 deserters being shot, but helped by my dad and the other man across the river. My dad and the other fellow were not hurt, fortunately. What happened to the other 21 men, no one knows.
Ooh, it's a mystery.
It's a mystery. My father and the other man soon found work, and later my dad was remarried, and within a year he sailed to the U.S. with his new wife and 6-week-old daughter. He was getting busy in Austria, huh?
1909?
No, this is about 1904.
Huh.
Oscar
before
didn't
he got
get
there,
there
yeah.
until 1909. Several months later, they sent money to Grandma to buy passage for my brother and me, but Grandma used the money to feed us instead. So we stayed there for 4 more years. In 1909, Dad arranged to bring me to America through a travel agent and instructed Grandma to get me to Gaysin, a large city 20 miles from Sobolyavka.
Well, write the name up there in the corner. If anybody knows how to say it, leave a video response.
Yeah, well, I'm sure my Cyrillic tongue is horrible. Anyway, that was Grandma's town by a certain date to catch a train bound for Hamburg, a seaport town where I could pick up a ship bound for New York, where my dad could meet me. This gave me 6 weeks to meet the deadline.
Ooh, 6 weeks.
So now what happens? We have to wait for the next installment of Oscar! So there we have it. His story of Dad escaping the country. So we still have to find out how Oscar
ends up escaping.
Well, he didn't have to escape per se. He obviously
But
wasn't
he wasn't escaping on that train trip.
No. Obviously, he could travel freely with Grandma. He wasn't a deserter from the army.
And how long did he know your grandma?
Several years. I don't know how many years my grandmother lived in that particular apartment complex where Oscar also lived, which is how they met.
Enough to be involved in your family for many birthdays and such.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you're 93...
You keep your friends close?
You know, I remember my grandfather, he was looking forward to stuff 6 months in advance because, you know, at 93, all your friends are gone, your siblings are gone, etc., etc., etc. So, there you have it. Make sure to subscribe to hear the future episodes of Oscar. And leave a comment, like, and subscribe.
Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.